everyone, and welcome back to Taku Katsu. This is the show where we talk about one anime, new or old, and we talk about what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and whether we will continue to watch the show. Today's show is Ouran High School Host Club. This is a 2006 anime, which is kind of wild for me to say because it still holds up and it looks good. I mean, I enjoy it. It's great. It's about a girl called Haruhi who stumbles upon the host club and breaks a vase. And the vase is very expensive, so they kind of, get her to be their slave to kind of work to pay off the cost of the vase. But that is kind of a very short summary of the show. I'm here joined with your other host, Vicky.
Are you a Fujoshi Fudanshi type? If so, I'm the one for you.
Oof. Big oof. And your other host, Cori.
Show me your love, because I am the host of the hour, and I am here to make you feel so good. Also, drink lots of beer, because in Japan, that's how hosts get paid.
Technically true.
Yes.
I educate.
Yes, host clubs.
With beer, mostly.
Yeah.
I educate you with beer because I'm a host and I'm not your boyfriend. I want your money. But this show has nothing to do with that. It's a great show.
Well, it sort of does.
You make them drink root beer, is what I'm saying.
Root beer and tea.
I would. That would be great. That sounds nice. That sounds lovely.
That sounds like a real host club. I mean...
That sounds like a social club with unnecessarily attractive people in it. Because that's what a host club is. It's like, hey, all right, well, we'll talk about that later.
But I guess I should start the show like we all thought it was going to start off as kiss, kiss, fall in love, hit it. Hey,
maybe you're the one.
So good.
So good.
The opening song is good. It's really good.
It's a banger.
I think, okay, do either of you have the song on your, playlist, computer, yada, yada, yada?
Absolutely.
It's on my phone. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Super
I
good.
also have the Tamaki song, because Tamaki had a song that was sung by Vic Mignogna, as well as, I can't believe I don't know the Japanese actor's name, but there's like two versions of it. Vic Mignogna did the English. The Japanese version is the original, but so good.
Yes, it's the best. It literally is the best opening song. I don't know how you cannot like it. It's something awakens in you when you hear that beat.
Yeah. I mean, okay, to be fair, it's like sugary sweet, but in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
It is girly. It's a girly song. It's a girly opening, but it's not like a Bishi opening, but it's right next to that. Like it could have been, if they would have animated it softer and with more like bloom, then it would have been a full Bishi. But yeah. It's This is one of those shows where I was like, man, this looks girly. Oh, I love this show. Like, early, it hits you and you're like, this is great. I like it. And I've seen this show before. I've seen it back in, 2000? I probably saw it in 2000 and... Let's call it 7. Let's call it 2007. But I saw this show years ago and I've watched it at least once over, if not twice over.
Yeah.
It's great.
I was pretty introduced to this early as well, like, probably during the time, because it was like, it was one of those shows. That kind of got around.
But this is we forgot to mention this is the third in our trilogy.
This ends our harem trilogy. We did pick three. I would say three non-traditional harems, which are more interesting because we could talk a little bit more about the harem type and why it is just generic harems are probably not the best quality. But these three shows that we did pick. Very distinct and a good choice, I'd say.
It's like harem is a sprinkling of spice.
Yes. But absolutely. I guess we could go on to the first topic. Cori was kind of getting to it. So why don't you start off, Cori? What do you like about the show?
Opening song is amazing.
Yes, we all agree.
The art from 2016 looks real good.
It's 2016.
No,
2006.
2006. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like,
this 2006 art is real good in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
This is some real good. Like, it may not be like super complicated. It might be a lot of simpler things. It's not like cartoony, but it's good, solid, just looks good. Animation, colors, all that fun stuff. I like the sort of general comedy sensibilities of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the single, and I think this is extremely important in a good show, especially a good show like this, the characters are distinct and they are enjoyable, and you know what they are about immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get characters and they're just like, bam! And so it is a lot of archetypes, but they're not full-on stereotypes. And if you want to call it a stereotype, then at least they defy them in small ways that make them more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, very strong characterization of Mori-senpai, Honey-senpai, Haruhi, the main character, Tamaki, and I always forget
Hikaru and Kaoru.
The twins.
Yeah, but Kyoya, I always forget his name.
Oh, Kyoya.
Hikaru
Glasses.
and Kaoru, obviously, the twins. It's where I first learned of the infamous phrase. Say it.
Wincest? Is that?
You would have said Rin, wouldn't you? You jerk.
What?
Yeah.
Was that right?
Twincest. Yeah, Twincest, which got then shortened
it's by accent.
into Wincest.
That's not what I believe.
Because twins.
No.
Double mint
Wincest
gum,
is something.
baby.
Wincest is something totally different.
That's
I'm sorry. Its own subcategory.
Me. Sorry, educate.
Okay. Quick rundown. Wincest specifically refers to the brotherly love of the brothers of Supernatural, Dean and Sam. That's Wincest, because it's Winchesters.
I have been introduced into the Winchesters very recently.
Yeah.
So I now very fully understand Wincest more than I ever wanted to. But I always assumed that Wincest and Twincest were kind of
They are not interchangeable. Yeah. Wincest is a category for that.
Well, guess what?
I thought it was.
Guess what? Supernatural came on TV around that time, so I think that the twins from this show and the Winchesters from that show, that just happened. I'm assuming a lot of female anime nerds and a lot of Supernatural nerds just said, this is a good thing. Brothers loving each other in ways unnecessary and uncomfortable for us all.
Well, one thing to point out is Vicky knew about the answer, and she really educated us.
She knew.
My dumb brain was like, Wincest was just basically win from the word winning, and Twincest. You put the W to, and to me it's just like it's like a stance. Like, I agree.
This is why I'm here to elucidate and
the true
shed light on the
girl knowledge. Girl knowledge is important.
That's true.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been educated. The more I know. Thank you.
All right, Cori. Back on twins. Back on Twincest. Cori,
Twincest is specifically the twins of a brotherly, sisterly, quote unquote, love situation.
Or just two boys who are twins. Anyway, I really enjoyed the little comedic arrow constantly.
Oh my goodness.
I like the light bulbs. I watched the first episode probably twice before I realized on the second go around, not this time, but when I've watched the first episode more than once, that the first light was immediately already on.
Mm-hmm. Kyoya knew from the beginning.
Beginning. And I'm like, okay.
To go on that, when they were talking about the twins, they were like, he doesn't get along with anyone. And then Kyoya was like, well, this person's a special student. He went out of his way to make it like a genderless way of referring to Haruhi without like spilling the beans right away. It was good.
That metaphor was amazing.
And it's interesting because Haruhi is extremely like, gender, whatever, man. I don't give a crap. Which honestly plays very little role in the future. But it was an interesting way to start it off. So maybe not a what do you call it? Maybe not a statement being made, but interesting nonetheless.
I think it also foreshadows a little bit about her dad, right?
The dad.
So
yeah,
it's
so
hints,
we're talking like literally like
Yeah.
episode like 18. The dad gets introduced, and the dad is a trip.
Yep, and you're like, yep, okay, makes sense. That's why, like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's just gender,
Mhm.
whatever.
Love the dad. Love Harem.
And her mother,
Alright.
her mother is dead, and she's poor, and so she destroys the base, and it's just like, oh, now you got to pay us back. So it's pretty cool. Interesting setup. Not quite Ranma in its gender situation, but not completely dissimilar, at least on the face of it. Interesting show. Very, very fun to watch. Good characters. I have questions for later, but that's all. That's what I like.
All right, passing on to you, Vicky. I mean, I'm sure you like this show, but can you detail us why you like this show?
Here we go.
Okay.
I love Ouran Host Club.
It's a good show.
It is good.
So good. This is also one of those where it feels like, looking back, it feels like it's been formative for me, because rewatching it now, and it's been some years since I watched it last, when Haruhi was like, about like her gender, it was like, biologically I'm a girl, like, sure. And just the way like she approaches like the whole situation of being inducted into this host club, she's like, all right, sure, fine, I'll wear this uniform, and doesn't even make a big deal about it that she's wearing a boy's uniform. And then at the end you see her in the girl's uniform, and she's like, hey, maybe I should start referring to myself as Ore. Like, it's just, she goes along with it so well and stays in the club. And I think, spoilers for whoever hasn't seen it, but see it anyway, even after she is forgiven the debt, she wants to stay with the club and still do what she's doing. And I think at that point people find out that she's a girl, and she's like, so come see me, I'm a great host. And it's just,
that's
just
some
great.
that's some good character building right there.
Mm-hmm. And again, also I love just from the first episode with the light bulbs, like, that's just so good comedy. And that, along with the arrows, reminds me of the sequences of Utena, where it's kind of like,
I was gonna say,
symbolism, pointing out things. And I even looked it up to see if they had any connection. They don't, unfortunately, or do they? Now that I think about it, someone that did the directing of this directed Sailor Moon. Oh, nope, lost it.
Nope.
There's no connection. Because I was like,
there's
is
no
Sailor
Kevin
Moon
Bacon involved in this one. I'm sorry.
no,
I'm
but I think you're right about that comparison. Like, there is definitely some inspiration, especially with like the still frames and the spinning things. Just, the arrow thing too was like clearly like, I was like, it must be something there.
It's so good. What else do I love? Just the way that it's a harem by technicality, but it doesn't feel like it. Like, it's not always in your face about like how it's a harem. It's just like, it's just a show about this host club, and there's like romance overtly and covertly, because it's like, obviously they're trying to romance their clients, but even within the club, there's like little moments of feelings being built up. Just
And
good stuff.
Unlike the later half of Utena, much less sexualization.
Oh my
of the
goodness. Oh my gosh. That
no sexualization of the ladies, because this is more of a lady show anyway.
Yeah.
But not nearly as much sexualization of the men, which I'm not saying you can't have. Just putting that out there, because I'm going to complain about sexualization of women occasionally, but not in the show, and the men know either. And obviously, when I see men get sexualized, I'm definitely going to have a higher, like, oh, I didn't need that. Because I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Hey, if everyone's going to be sexualized equally above the age
reasonable.
of consent.
Accurate.
Yes.
We all agree. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Except Honey Senpai then breaks that. He's the oldest of all of them.
Oldest one.
And no, I guess that's not true. They don't sexualize him. He is fully just like the cute lolly,
to be
like
fair,
Shota.
They kind of fetishize him, but not in a sexual way. It's on that border, but
it's more like a moe, like, you're so cute and into cutesy things.
It's like when a girl's moe, it's like kind of like, okay, you brought a good point. 'Cause like if it's a girl moe, you're like, whatever. But like, no, you have a little tension there. But when it's a guy moe, I'm like, I feel personally, I'm like, that's whatever.
Yeah,
I feel like whatever. But when it's a girl, I'm like, I don't know. There's some parts of it that
it's a double standard.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was just so cute that Honey Senpai knew that Haruhi was a girl because she found the bunny cute.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I never realized that the first couple times, and I'm like, he realizes she's a girl because she's like, it's so adorable.
Yeah, the light bulb.
That's great.
It is amazing. Like literally the light switches on for each of the characters. You're like, okay, you get the moments, and it was just like perfect. I'm like, I love that so much.
And I did not get that the first time I ever saw it.
Exactly.
It took a couple watch throughs.
And I think to kind of go back to what I was saying about characterization, that's their character. Like Mori knew because he picked her up.
Mm-hmm.
That
and when
plays
Mori
into
like
who he is.
She was like Tasukete, he was immediately like like protector, like immediately there.
Exactly. Big brother.
Right. The twins, they only realized it because they were being reckless. They're just like, and they're like,
they got kicked out.
Yep.
Let's go.
There's a reason. Yep.
Like it plays into their characters really well. It's a really characterization is really good.
I like it. Was it Kyoya with the blonde, right? The cool one.
Tamaki.
Yes. Tamaki, the king, right?
Oh, the blonde one. Yeah,
the blonde one. He finds out because like he just actually sees her, and he's like, light bulb switch on because like he's like. He blushes like, I think I like this girl. It's like, wait a minute, it's obvious. Like immediately, I'm like, that's obvious. I'm like, okay.
I also think switch. The princess knew that Haruhi was a girl, because there would be no reason to do all of that stuff she did if she didn't know.
Also, so this goes back to my issue with Rukia back in when I first watched Bleach. You remember that conversation? He was into her, like really into her as a boy.
Oh.
Yeah. So the broader question is, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean anything, but what does that mean? Right?
Hey, man.
Because he's just like super he's like, wow. Like he was fascinated with her as a boy.
Right.
And then immediately as a girl, he's like, but then, as you will hear, he keeps referring to, he's like, I'm your papa, I'm your dad. And she's like, I don't want another dad.
I thought it was like...
super into her.
I thought he was like, wait a minute. Am I in love with this boy? It's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, That's why he was like...
100%.
Yep. Super blushing. Like
that is a question you never want to ask when you're like, I don't know, 14. That would be real uncomfortable at 14.
I fully believe Tamaki just loves people, and it doesn't matter. Because before the revelation that Haruhi is a girl, he was like, I didn't think the star student would be gay, but what's your type? And then listed all of... That's when he introduced their types, and then it was like, do you want to try me on? It was like, whoa, he fully was just going to go for it.
Now, and I would argue, and you'll maybe guess why later, but I would argue that is just because he's a good host.
That could be true as well. But you see little bits of him, like, paying Haruhi attention when Haruhi's not paying him any attention before the revelation. And he has, like being like, oh, that's so cute. Or, oh, you're doing so well. The whole, like, attraction started, like you were saying, while Haruhi was still seen as a boy, and it was like, oh. And then when she was a girl, full on, not like breaks her off. Although the breaks were still kind of on, because he just still referred to himself as Papa. I'm the father. Kyoya's the mother. And just cute moments like that where it's like...
A lot of random English also, just because he's like an upper crust smart man, I guess, or at least
he is. If I recall, he grew up in France or
that
America.
Might be true. I think because he's blonde, so I think one of his like his mother's French, but then his father's not. But his father like shouldn't have been with her. It was a whole thing.
Like he
There's
is
a whole episode about it.
He is half white for sure, and like part of the reason he made the club was to feel like a way to fit in, because he had a surprisingly, I wouldn't say dark, but like a deep background that belies his.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Tamaki I learned all sorts of fun words in that first episode. I was deep in there, like Danshoku, like that was for like I think he was gay. Yeah, just all of that. So that was fun. I just had to write some stuff down. So what else did you like, Patrick?
Oh yes.
Yeah, what'd you like?
I mean, Honey Senpai is the best. Again,
Honey Senpai.
Senpai is the best. He is the best. Haruhi, I think another thing is like that's really good for the show. That like we were saying, Cori, and the characters are great, but the main character Haruhi, like she is actually really good. Like she's kind of like relatable, and she actually sticks up with herself. Like that, she has a little bit of fire because she was confronting the other girl who was trying to sabotage her. But the characters are just like naturally good people. Even the other boys, they're like Tamaki as well, like helping her and all these things. So they're very likable characters. So you do root for them. I was gonna say, the intro song's great. I always gotta say, intro song's great. Hit it.
Oh, you know what though? The intro song is pretty great. What do you think, Vicky?
The ending song is also great.
I like it because I like the show, but I think it's actually just okay.
I think it's okay, the ending song.
I like it more that there's, again, a Japanese version and an English version, both done by the same band, depending on whether it's the dub or the sub. But the opening song, just, chef's kiss. So good.
I can never get over it.
Show me a better opening in the comments or the email or Twitter.
Better yet. I mean, yes, all of those things. We need comments. We need interaction with our little tiny audience. But tell me you don't get excited because I'm using the right word. Darn it! If you're having a day and then that song pops up and you're just like, "Do me, you're my love." Oh, it's too good. It's so good. It's dumb how enjoyable that song is.
I know it's magical. It just
Yeah. Like even today, I was feeling down, and then I was like, you know what? Okay, little secret. I watched the episode today.
No.
But so I watched it. Let me rephrase. There was a day I was feeling, down, and so I watched my episode for our recording today, and like even watching it brought my spirits up. Yeah. It's infectious. It's just so good.
It is so good,
though.
We'll edit that point out.
No,
we won't.
Trade secrets.
Editor, keep it. But I think one thing I really like about the show, I couldn't help myself compare it to Pretty Boy Detective Club, which was another show we talked about earlier in the series.
It's very much so, yeah.
Right, I couldn't help talk about that because, like, I know we had a little bit more gripes with Pretty Boy Detective Club, and that's a more recent anime, I believe, like literally from this year, right? But Ouran High School is a better example of that because of the characterizations, and even though they were given just a little bit more screen time, just like a little bit more than the other boys and Detective Club, it really solidified what their gimmick was, even if it wasn't a stereotype, whatever, or archetype.
I can tell you we know it's a better show because we can tell you about the characters from Ouran High School now.
Yes.
And if we talk about Pretty Boy Detective Club, we don't remember the names, but we definitely know Leg Boy. Exactly. That was stuck in our head.
That is so
but every other character, we're like, wait, there was the guy who was mad, but he was a cook. Then there was the quiet one who reminds me of Kyoya from the Better Show, which is this one. And then there was the other ones who I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to watch all of Pretty Boy Detective Club because I think part of it is that we've watched all of Ouran High School Host Club.
No, you're not.
So tonight, I'm going to watch it all. And then I will report back my findings. Because I think it's just familiarity with the show. I watched Ouran High School Host Club like at least 10 times.
All the way through?
Yeah, like...
Dang,
it's only 26 episodes, though, but that's still a lot.
Yeah, that's still a lot. That's 260 episodes when you say it like that.
But that's like over since 2000. I think the first time I saw it I just bought the DVD set, so it was like I had it, so I could just like watch it.
Patrick, we gotta go to Vicky's house. We gotta watch something.
Yeah, I got it.
I kind of want it now that you said it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can find it anymore. Like it was just this.
Ooh.
It was in Best Buy when they were carrying good anime.
But let me say this.
Good scary movies.
When animes were on
it is
DVDs.
a popular show, though. It is a popular show. You probably can buy this one because it's on Netflix, or at least it used to be on Netflix, and it's on Funimation. You could probably buy it from Funimation. It is a very, very popular show,
and it's from the last 15 years. And
it's not a shonen show. But it is a popular show that's not shonen. So there is that possibility it's not in print, but I kind of want it. I'm not going to go out and get it, but I kind of want it right now.
Like, I legit, after watching this first episode again, I was like, I'm just going to watch this whole thing again. Because it's so good.
It's super good.
It is really good. It's, and I think it's, again, comparing it to Pretty Boy Death Club, very, very similar vibes. Even the main character has, I like the main character in Death Club just as well for the same reasons as Haruhi. You know, they got a little bit of spunk and fire in them.
Exactly.
They're a little combatant, and that's great. And they're like, whatever mood, they're like, whatever. They're going to just deal with whatever gets them. But it's just more lighthearted and more comedic. And it's just, I don't know, it's so good. And I think it's just very simple, yeah.
It all reminds me of Utena, where it's like this strong female character that like isn't the typical girly character and does like these boyish things and is fine with it. And it's like Utena walked so Haruhi could fly, and the girl from Pretty Boy Detective Club could walk.
The vibes,
so she
vibes
could fall off of a telescope, but
going to the stars.
That is true. She did jump.
Going to the stars.
Okay.
That's true.
Flashback to our past. Yes,
Utena is wild though.
So I remember when we were in MK, Ming specifically asked for an impossible anime, and it was like, I want a main character female lead, and I think she wanted an action show. He wanted an action, like it was something, and it was like that doesn't exist. Like he wanted it to be like no romance. Action female lead, and it was like one other thing, and like all four of them together were impossible. And I'm like, take one out, and you got your show all day long.
That's true.
You can't have all four. I just I wish Ming find this episode and tell us because I don't remember anymore.
Female action,
no romance.
That's Ikitosen.
There's
female
romance.
Action.
There's lots of romance.
But there's romance.
It probably also meant it needed to not have ecchi in it, or at least like minimal. Because the problem is you either get this or Utena, or you get Ikitosen, or every other show where you have Kill la Kill.
Kills are good, but you have that.
Like, what's that one? Senkai, the one with like they're like robot girls or something, alien girls.
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot, yeah.
Man,
and like the one boy,
old reference, Bubblegum Crisis.
Oh my god, that's
a classic. That's good.
Yeah. Shout out
when it was like when they did the date 20XX.
Yes. Remember when the future was 20 something? Yeah. Anyway,
can you imagine?
You can't. Nope. Impossible.
I remember when the year 2000 was the future.
I still remember 1999, like vividly. The changeover to 2000. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a scary time.
Oh God, that was like that was like 2019, but 1999. If you know what I'm saying. Bad things were coming. Is what I'm saying.
That's true.
But we didn't know.
No, we definitely didn't know.
Little did we know.
Yeah. Okay, so I had nothing to say about what I didn't like.
What do we not like about the show?
I was just about to say that.
It's hard.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, the only thing I can have is like maybe the other background music or the voice acting. I watched it in the English dub, so I had that for me. And it was decent, I think, for 2006, and the animation as well, like you're saying, it's decent. I think they had their things on the ball right now during this era. Like things were being upgraded. It's clearly a big step from Loveless.
Vic Mignogna was still a decent person.
Rephrase that. We didn't know he wasn't.
He was person. That. There we go. We did not know.
No one would know, just like 22.
Little do we know.
But yeah, I guess the only thing that doesn't really stand up to me is like the background music, or particularly the voice acting for the English side. But it was still decent. And when I say the background music, I'm like the Ulster or whatever, because the intro music is still the best. But other than that, it's still pretty good. It's like, and even if it's not if it's not like your show, I think it still has a charm that you're just like, what is this show about? At least like you're still gonna get and fancy what's it going towards. And the ending part of it, you're like, if you didn't know she was a girl the first time, you're like, well, that's the sell. That's the sell right there.
I was gonna say there are two things about this show that I guess aren't great. Okay, one, if you don't like girly shows and you won't give it a try, then you'll never enjoy the magic. That's not really good criticism, but that's what I got. And then the second thing is, it makes host clubs not seem like what they really are.
Yes, that's true. Okay,
that's
right.
Actually pretty bad. Because I didn't know what a host club was, and then I learned what a host club was because of the show. I'm like,
hey,
yeah.
Oh,
if host clubs like this were real, we'd be going to them.
Man, let me work there.
Yes.
That sounds great. I'm probably not nearly rich or handsome enough, but shit, let's go. Man, that sounds like fun. Yeah, it does.
It's like
it sounds like fun. It may not be, but it sounds like fun.
Right.
It's like watching something with a maid cafe as the main setting,
you're right.
And then finding out what real maid cafes are like, which I'm sure they're great. For the most part, but
I hear that they're not all that great.
Yeah. I've been, and it's all right. It's more.
Yeah.
It's more like you go for the experience, and that's about it. It's like going to a club. You're like, it's cool, and then like, if that's your thing, it's whatever. But
yeah. Tell me how good the food was.
Yeah, it's okay.
Exactly.
The food is the worst part.
Exactly. I want food.
Buy street food. Way better. It's just go off of that.
Yeah. I just want good food. I don't need your fake affection. I want food.
Is that 100%? You buy, Cori, you pointed it out. Just you buy it for the glamour and
fake
the experience. To take pictures. You take pictures. You do the cutesy stuff. You get the entertainment. Let's say they dance.
Okay.
They have costumes on.
So this is what we call a PG strip club. Anyway,
pretty much.
You're not wrong.
Okay. Random question time. If you could go to a themed cafe, host club, whatever, like of that kind, totally like, let's call it teenager friendly.
Catboys. I'm just kidding.
Cowboys.
No, Catboys.
Catboys.
Hey, if there's Catboys.
Where would you go?
Where
would you go? Like, if you could get, like, themed after something you really like, and you could just, like, it'd be like a kid in a candy shop level of just, it's great. Where would
Oddly
you go?
enough, here in Minnesota, there is a cat cafe, and I've been.
But
it was probably the worst experience because it was anyone can go, right? Like, you still pay it's like a small donation fee to be able to go in with the cats. So it was like these people that already had pets at home, already had cats, bringing their kids to come, like, basically bother the cats, and I couldn't just sit and chill with some cats. Like, I
don't like it because of the other people.
Basically, it was like if I could have just had a private time slot of just being in a room full of cats, that would have been awesome.
You gotta rent
but
a
no,
you do like. You need to rent the room for the day or something.
Exactly.
If I knew
$5,000,
I would have done it. But cat cafes or like random animal cafes where they have the raccoons come up and steal your food. It's great.
I know there's
the raccoons how to steal.
That'd be amazing. Actually, I would pay for that to just have them grab stuff and play around.
Okay. Just because I want to be weird and I want to hype up a show no one cares about, I would go to a cafe that was completely themed on Crest of the Stars. Or Band of the Stars. Because I love that novel and I love the anime and I love it. And no one cares.
Nope.
I still haven't seen it. Still haven't read it. No.
No, you should. It's great. I'll probably make us watch it someday, but not anytime soon.
You're more likely to find like an Ender's Game cafe.
I like Ender's Game quite a bit.
You just go Star Trek. You go sci-fi. You just go full on
Star
Hollow Deck Cafe or something.
That does
That
sound
would
fun.
be awesome.
That sounds way more fun in my head than it probably would be in real life.
That's the thought. Is like it sounds amazing in theory, but as someone who's went to a maid cafe, you're like, it's you have to be in the right mindset, I guess, because like if you're just not in the right day, like if you pick a weird day, you're like, today's terrible, and like you just don't even feel the mood, you're like, whatever, it doesn't do anything for you. Is what I'm saying.
Concluded that these suck. They just all suck. Zane had actually told me about it was either a maid cafe or cat cafe near him, and he's like, I'm never going. I'm like, go, do it and tell me how it goes. He's like, no, I'm not going. I'm not going for any reason.
I know that there's actually a place that's, I think it was specifically for Final Fantasy, maybe, but it might have been Final Fantasy 14 themed cafe, but like, it was just like,
in Japan.
If I were to pick one, it would be like video game related, and that's a great setting. Like, you just have food based off of, like, a Legend of Zelda cafe would be amazing to have like food themed.
Okay. I thought of the unnecessarily complicated way to make this less suck. Okay. A VR experience, but you can still eat food.
Ooh. Kind of like those restaurants where you go in and it's pitch black, so you can't see what you're eating.
Oh, yeah,
I've never heard of that. That sounds both awesome and terrifying.
Yeah, you eat in the dark, so like you just order food and like it's supposed to, heighten your senses, your taste buds.
Sure. Okay.
You go there for a blind date. It's a literal blind date.
That is an even worse idea.
No, Vicky, I like what you're thinking, Vicky.
I think it was a literal show. It was called Blind Date, and it was like they had contestants eating in a pitch black and like talking with each other, but it was based on the actual restaurants where you could like sit in the dark and just eat.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that sounds like a bad idea.
You know what? I think my sister went to, like, my sister and her friends went and did that, and not all cracked that out to be. It was like, no. Yeah. Again, the theory and the thought sounds amazing, but I think we always we set our expectations high. We're like, just go with it, having fun, because it'll never, whatever you watch through anime is never going to reach your expectation. Maybe unless it's crazy.
Okonomiyaki.
Yeah, except for okonomiyaki. That's about it. That's the only one that your expectations will truly be reached. That's true.
I think it's because they put so much energy towards the gimmick and not towards the food. And it's like the food has to be on point for those ideas to work. Because that's how you keep drawing people back.
The food could be the winning point at any situation. It could be a terrible environment, but the food's amazing. Oh my goodness. That's about it.
So, Patrick, you gonna watch some more of this show?
Yes.
You gonna watch it again?
I gotta watch. I'm gonna watch it in English dub.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen it in English dub, so it'll be interesting.
I think I've only watched it partway in English, and I've watched the whole thing in Japanese once. But yeah, I'll probably watch this after I watch Ranma again. But so not anytime soon.
Ranma again?
Wow.
Yeah.
Within
that's
like,
a commitment.
No, it's too much.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not watching all of Ranma anytime like right now, but I'll probably watch this again by the time I watch Ranma a second time.
I have watched it in both English and Japanese, and I'm pretty sure I'll watch it again, but first I'm going to watch Pretty Boy Detective Club all the way through.
She's not going to do it.
Yes,
I'm absolutely going to do it. You heard it here, folks. Reporting in with a new assignment, Pretty Boy Detective Club.
Hey, Cori, what happened to the other assignment? The other thing we don't
I finished it.
Oh, we dropped some bunnies, so we don't talk about that. So anyway, now that we've done with that,
oh, wait, we didn't talk about why it's a harem.
Oh.
Shoot, yeah. Okay.
Well,
we technically bring it up before, but go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. It's a harem. Okay, so we've established that if it's between two people, that's just romantic comedy. 3 people is a love triangle. Yeah. 4 is where you get to harem, and then anything more is just for fun, really. Honestly. I guess I don't quite remember if all the boys truly like Haruhi, right, in the show, but the fact that she's around the situation, the scenario, and the people, and as a viewer, you can ship them, and you could potentially see them be with Haruhi. I think you would list that as the harem. But that is just a spice. I think like before we were saying, a true harem, and like if they really go into the gimmick, then that's what makes like a generic harem which are generally not the best shows. And
I'm looking at you, Tenchi Muyo.
yeah, like even those, like I think if you would watch like one of your harem that you really did like, if you took a step back and watch it again, you'd be like, this doesn't really hold up, and it might be just nostalgia, like watching Pokemon or Dragon Ball. Like this, if it was your first harem you'd watch, you'd be like, this is amazing. But when you watch it now, you're like, nah, I was young back then, you know.
Yep, little did you know.
I was young. Yeah, even that.
Oh.
I watched that as
Love
a young
Hina.
boy,
No,
and I'm like,
that was my first one, and I'm like, yeah, this is great.
Yep,
but if I watched Love Hina again today, I'd be like, ooh, this is...
I can't.
First off, main character, and I did watch Tenchi Muyo.
Yeah.
So maybe that was technically first, but either way, I've rewatched Tenchi Muyo. Does not hold up. It's fine. It's not the worst, but it really doesn't hold my attention like I thought it did. It's like Gundam Wing. I thought Gundam Wing was amazing.
Oh, me too.
And then you watch 2 episodes of Gundam Wing today, and you're like, this show is slow. It goes
get to the robots.
Nowhere. It really is too. It's like, get on the robots. Where are your giant fighting? We're going to talk for a while, and then there's going to be a character named Hero. He's the hero, and he sucks. Like as a character, he sucks. Like he's like a good fighter, but he sucks as he's not interesting at all.
The hand.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was whatever.
Frower was like subconscious was like, man,
sucks.
Jesus.
I was like, oh wow.
Anyway,
tell
nobody
us less. You hate Hero, all right.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's a harem, but it doesn't feel like it. It's not like in your face, everyone overtly all over. Well, it almost feels like a double harem because it's like each of the hosts have all of these random girls in the school as part of their own little harems because they get requested. And then three of them overtly have expressed feelings to her or for her in one way or the other. So it's like technically a harem.
Yeah, I think Honey Senpai is kind of pretty much either doesn't say anything or it's like real subtle by the end. Mm-hmm. Mori doesn't talk much anyway, so. And then Kyoya, I feel like Kyoya is the type who's just like, I'm not going to tell you, ever. And then you have some of the female characters are kind of, but they're not prominent at all. Right. And then obviously Tamaki is the main dude, and then the twins I think are definitely interested. And they're like even in her class, like they're the same year and everything. And yeah, it's just and then is there a rival character who appears for a while?
There's a girl who's like supposed to be his fiance, Tamaki's fiance.
Yeah.
So it's like
there's a lot of like small drama. Like if this was a live action Korean drama, it would take 30 minutes and not an hour.
There was a live action movie though.
I'm just saying.
Ooh.
I may have to watch it for research purposes.
I want to watch. I would watch that for sure.
Mm-hmm. But it's just the way they're animated. They're just so adorable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mo Honey for life.
Yeah, Honey Senpai is just amazing.
Okay, so that will transition into my question, which I will ask, and then after we will also inform people what a host club is in Japan. So it's a 2-part, technically it's a 3-part question. Mm-hmm. Who do you want to be of the 5 male characters?
All right, Vicky.
Who are you really? Who are you actually? And why? All right. So I will give you a moment. I will give you a minute to compose because you already know the answers, and I'll tell you who I want to be.
Are you excluding Haruhi from as a choice?
Okay.
Why?
Oh, that's true.
Only for you. Only for you can you pick Haruhi.
No. You guys could pick Haruhi as well.
I would pick her. No. She's pretty amazing.
That is not.
She's amazing.
That is not the rule.
That's the rule in this made-up game we're playing, which already has rules.
I only give it to you because you're female and she's female. And
that
that's the
seems
only reason.
wrong. Because
Well,
Haruhi as a
don't
host...
take it. Nope, take her out. Bam.
I don't want
to
her.
go
It's wrong.
both ways.
Pick from the
She
dudes.
obviously...
Pick from the dudes.
Vicky, I'm sorry, Vicky.
No.
This list of characters are only males for you. You can't pick.
No. I would have picked the male anyway. I'm just saying
All right.
Haruhi as a type
Wait
is
a
like
minute.
the down-to-earth type.
Wait a minute. I think what Vicky's trying to say is that she wants to pick boy Haruhi. Right?
Yeah. I was leaning towards that
Hey.
too. Anyway.
Haruhi's Haruhi.
Point is, from the male perspective, there's only one character who is like the attainable one, quote unquote. Like if this was a female harem, it'd be all flipped around. So from a male perspective, I'm like, okay, who am I? I embody not the female character, the main character, but I am one of the selection. This is how I justify it. So I want to be Mori. Like in my head, I'm like, I'm cool, I'm quiet, right? I'll chill out. I'm the wild type.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, honestly, to myself, every time I think about it, because I think about this more often than I should, I'm like, I'm Tamaki. I'm freaking Tamaki. I am a dumbass.
You know,
and I am just like so excited. Like, come on, everybody, let's go. Whee! And he has way less shame than I do. Obviously, have you listened to this podcast? But I think deep down, like me and him, and his personal history doesn't completely disassociate from mine. And then that's the why. So, who wants to go next?
I was going to say, I laughed because I was like, you want to be Mori.
Yep.
But I think you're more Kyoya. You're very...
I don't think so.
You're very organized and structured.
Mm-mm.
Whereas Tamaki is not structured at all. He's just off the cuff, like...
I think you want to be Tamaki.
You want to be Tamaki.
That's also a thought I had too. That is a thought I've had before. That I want to be the main character who gets the girl. Which is a fair thing when I'm watching this show. So, But I want to be Mori because he's the cool, tall dude. And I'm like, that's me. And it's like, it's not me at all.
I think mine is pretty easy. You could tell. I don't have to tell you, but I think you already could tell mine.
Because you've said because you said Honey Senpai like 12 times?
Yep. I want to be Honey Senpai, and I'm obviously Kyoya, right? Would you guys agree with that 100%? I want to be Honey Senpai because that is... I love it. I mean, but I am Kyoya. I'm pretty just... That's his characters, or what? Or would you think I'm Mori?
I'd say you want to be Honey, but you're more Mori.
Mori? Okay.
You're very wild type, where it's like, you don't know where you're gonna... Like, between me and Cori, you could go either way with, like... And you throw out chaos.
Interesting. But, wait. But that doesn't make him more like a twin, though?
That is true.
I could possibly... See, if the two twins are, like... They're very similar, so, like, I could pick either or. I'll just am a twin, pretty much, if that's the case.
I would say I'd want to be... Think of myself as Hikaru, but I'm more Kaoru.
Wait a minute.
She should have cheated on that one.
There's some...
No! The twins are very distinct from each other.
I mean...
All right, so Mrs. I've watched the show 10 times. Explain how the twins are distinct from each other.
Hikaru is more... Wait, which one did I say I wanted? Yes, Hikaru. I want to be like Hikaru.
You can't tell. It doesn't matter what they... It doesn't matter.
Tell when it's your explanation.
I can't tell. Hikaru is more... No, because I was like, which one did I say? And because in my heart of hearts, I know I'm more Kaoru. Like, I'd rather be Hikaru. Because Hikaru is more like outgoing and dominant, I'll even say. Kaoru is more like...
submissive. He's a submissive one. Anytime Vicky can throw in BDSM, she's gonna do her. You don't have to do it every time.
La Latina.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying. Either way, I'm one of the twins. Or rather, I'd want to be like, I don't know.
All right.
It's one of the twins, regardless.
Right, it's one of those twins. I'm sure there's a little bit of distinction with episodes, but I don't recall since.
Yeah, there is distinction, and it's also they come off as very outgoing and like even together outgoing and like fun, but they've got dark like background. They've got like a not so great childhood and stuff.
I will say this about the twins. I love the syncopation. I love the way that they talk at the same time and like echo each other. That is just a fun effect. I don't know. It's just fun. It just is.
Yeah, and they're not voiced by the same person either, which is a great touch. They're two separate people that just happen to sound very alike.
Similar. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Anyway,
so yeah, that was my question. That was going to take either 5 or like 30 minutes.
No, that's good. I mean, I like that because like even in this situation, I'm like, don't make me pick Cori.
Oh, but which host would you request?
Oh man, it's not Honey Senpai for me. I wouldn't want to request.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be about what I want to request.
Acknowledgement that I don't want them to call me gay. Don't need that. No, don't need
just
that.
Throw
but
it a
ignoring
rule.
that part.
38?
Crap. I don't know. I don't think I want to, because Mori doesn't talk, so I don't want to. Look, can I play basketball with Mori? Can I play basketball with Mori? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
All right, I'm playing basketball with Mori, and I'll be like, dude, you're kind of cool. And he'll be like,
I can see that. I would pick the twins. Just having a great fun time.
And then, of course, I think we very clearly picked it out. It was already there. It's like he's gonna hang out with Honey Senpai. He's gonna get cake. You're gonna eat some cake. Cakey. Cakey.
Honey Senpai has the sweets, but I'm not into moe. And he's a very moe character, and I'm just like,
I don't want to deal with a moe boy anyway.
Yeah,
that just feels irritating.
Exactly. Like I root for that boy, but I would not want to request him. I want to be him, but I would not very want to request him. It's a tough one.
Kill ya.
Tamaki sounds like would just be like just. But the twins is actually pretty fun because you just be like making jokes and just doing wild stuff.
Sure.
It feels like that sounds fun.
Just having a ball.
Just messing around.
And then
they have the weird moments. And you be like, God damn it.
Incest that they're going on.
Yeah.
Tamaki just seems like too much work. Just exhausting.
He's annoying as hell. He's a great character. Super annoying. So I'm terrified. I'm secretly Tamaki inside. Just constant.
Secretly.
But yeah, maybe I am more Killia than I admit.
And I'm Mori. Right.
Let's agree to disagree.
I'm a man of few words. That's it.
Mori, I do wish like his personality was able to be showcased more than like the further down episode when Honey was like beating up a bunch of dudes. That was a great episode. Love Honey.
General advice for the world. Mori Senpai is not a personality. Don't do that.
You just stole it. Just like
that's not a good way to live your life. Just not doing anything, standing around being quiet,
to be fair,
nervous. Usually, not a way to live.
To be fair, he's from a bodyguarding family of Honey Senpais, so it's like
right.
He was raised to be a protector.
Yeah. He's like a guardian.
He's Shin from League of Legends.
But man, he is a handsomely drawn character.
Tall, dark, and Japanese. So, what is a host club? Anyone want to start, or should I go?
A host club?
It's basically the male version of a maid cafe.
With alcohol.
Yeah. It's more of a, I guess when you say host club, or even the hostess club, let's say, but for the male side, it's basically more geared adults, 18 plus, let's say, and that's why there's drinks and everything like that, but there's more of a, man, how do we put this lightly?
I would phrase it like this. A host club is like a strip bar where no one gets naked and they're all men, unless it's a hostess club. And their entire job is to get drunk by you ordering more alcohol for them to drink so they continue to flirt with you.
From what I recall,
sounds like a bar experience.
Yeah, it's like the hosts don't want to get drunk because...
But the hosts have to drink. It's part
they
of
have
the whole thing. Like, the thing is that young male hosts in Japan, because I don't know if they have host clubs all over or if it's Asia or what, but specifically I'm aware of hosts in Japan, handsome dudes, work at a place, and they are supposed to get you to buy more alcohol. But they have to drink
money
with you because that would be weird if they weren't drinking, wouldn't it?
It'd be rude, yeah.
And they do that by being interested in you, and basically it's boyfriend play, as it were. They fake to be your boyfriend while you're there, and then they want you to come back. And the problem is that these hosts, who are young men, get like liver disease within, years because they are drinking gallons of alcohol a day.
The dark side of Ouran.
Right.
That's why Ouran High School Host Club. It very much feels like child play of romanticizing this idea of what a host club is, because it's like, we've got time, we've got drinks, and let's make a host club. And it's like a childish version of when people that want companionship will go to a host club. And it's very sad, because it's like, you have to pay a stranger to be nice to you.
It sounds like you were saying, strip club. Like, again, it's just, hey, if you've got money, more power to you, I guess. But I think the problem lies, like, there are other, maybe people, some people fancy, the things that they may not be able to afford, and that's where the problem hits, I guess. But hey, man, if it is not a, let's say it's not a cheap hobby, if anything, or something to do constantly. But hey, that's kind of how it is sold as. But for me, it's just like, that sounds like a bar experience. If you go to a bar or like a club, like, I don't know. But you're paying specifically for this lifestyle, I guess, and this idea. It's
not even a lifestyle. It's just like, I'm going to spend an amount of time with this person who I've selected based on their looks, personality, and fake personality. And they're going to keep trying to get me to buy more alcohol. And then they're going to drink as little of it as possible so they don't die. But they're going to have me order as much of it as possible so they can live.
Yeah. I think the reason why I call it lifestyle is that, like, if you can do this once in your life and you're good, but that's not really the gimmick that is not what's being sold. Let's say I go for once just for the experience, like a Maid Cafe. Like, oh, this is cool. Hey, that's it. And then I'm done. But the lifestyle of what is being presented as, keep coming back. You see the same girl.
See your favorites.
You start, you get your favorites. Just like idol culture, and that's...
Or prostitutes.
It's basically,
to put it fair.
An escort service without the love hotels.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was going for.
Yeah, it's an escort, wait a minute.
Except they're in a building, and you sit with them, and you drink alcohol. And I get the impression that, like some people who go to strip clubs, I guess, like companies or businessmen, or at least the more lechery type, will go and like, that's what they do. Like that's their business meeting. I don't know. Host clubs in real life aren't so nice.
Again, I think it's just like, it's just the, like, also they mentioned it in the show as well. Like, it's for the rich and the people who have way too much time on their hand. Like, obviously, like, that's what separates it. But I think other avenues, like, depending on the quality of the area, like strip clubs or whatever, like, that's for anyone. But for, like, again, this lifestyle, quote unquote lifestyle, people who can't afford to come back to this are usually the one who are, well off and have more time on their hands. Otherwise, the poor people, again, like in Ouran High School Horse Club, it's only for the rich and glamorous people. Like, that's what they're selling. And, like, they clearly, they see Haruhi and, like, she's just a commoner. There's a theme of, like, there's a slight theme of it. Again, it's not even that big, but they mentioned it just to kind of have fun of it. And that's, like, may be a part of the show, but it's just like, oh, yeah, the commoners, she's a commoner and, whatever. And we are the rich upper class people. So
it's for people that have time on their hands and money to burn.
Way too much time to hands. Way too much money to burn.
Yeah. That they were so shocked that, like, the commoners have instant coffee because they don't have time to grind the coffee beans. It's so wild.
Oh, man.
And I get it, because I bought a coffee grinder and some beans, and I was like, I'm gonna have fresh ground coffee. It takes time. And I'm like, screw this. Where's the Keurig? Just pop that sucker in. I don't have time.
No. You don't have people to do that for you. That's the difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
That's
see.
when you get your boy to do it.
I see where you're going with
Summon the coffee grinder. No, not the machine. The person. Get the coffee. Thank you. Stupid. But yeah, it's a great show. The premise is really interesting, and it taught me the horrors of modern life in Japan.
I seem to think in Soul Eater, wasn't Maka's dad a host?
Did not watch much to Soul Eater, actually.
Like, I feel like there was a scene where he's in a bar and a woman's there with him. And he's like, he has to, like, leave her behind, but he's, like, there as a host. Something like that. Let me know in the comments.
I say in Durarara, the one blonde dude is a host.
The bartender?
Yep.
Oh, was he a bartender? Maybe he wasn't a host.
The tall guy gets angry a lot?
Yeah. The blonde
stuff.
one.
Yes.
I think he's a bartender.
He might be a bartender. Never mind. I just remember Russian sushi because that stuff sticks in my head, and I think it's hilarious. Russian sushi. Russian. Big. Okay. For anyone who's not seen Durarara, just watch Durarara. It is full. Okay, let me stop saying it like that. Ra ra. It was on Cartoon Network. It's a fun show. I'm not gonna say it's the best show. It's a solid 7 out of 10. If you really like it, it's probably more like an 8.5. But solid show. Slightly confusing plot at some points, but altogether,
Doulahan.
Yeah, the headless horseman who rides a motorcycle that can summon to them. It's and it's like, how did you get to Japan? Okay,
yeah, that's an Irish.
at least, yeah. But yeah, Durarara, which is basically Dullahan, but not the title. Real strange. But one of the things that makes it strange, among all the other things that makes it a little bit weird, is there's a big old black dude from Russia selling sushi in Tokyo.
That's a lot.
Sounds like the dream.
Big old black man. Russian sushi. Russian. Speaks Japanese. Russian sushi. Like, wow.
That's like the group Boney and their song Rasputin, because it's like a Jamaican band singing in English about a Russian dude. It's wild. Look up Boney and Rasputin. It's like, it's so multicultural.
The avenues you have to dive into make that whatever it is.
It's great. So yeah, just random side pick. If you're bored and you haven't watched all the really good anime, but you want to watch something random, it'll do you good.
Yeah, Cori, talking about random anime. It is your week next week, correct?
It is, and it's not random at all, because just like Idata, and I've been talking about it for like 2 months.
Yes, that's true. You've been talking about this.
You would say we're finna get hype for finna.
Oh, boy. We finna watch this show
we finna
right
watch
now. It's finna be good. You know what I'm finna talk about, Patrick?
You know,
a pirate princess.
This finna be revenge. This finna be...
I'm gonna finna punch you. Okay, so Finna Pirate Princess is what we will watch for episode 41 of Taku Katsu. So get your chopsticks ready for that. But let's talk real quick. Where are we on our anime watching? I've got 2 more episodes left of Utena.
Wow.
To finish it up for the year.
Yep.
Still getting kind of homoerotic every now and again, but it's fine.
So
I've been watching the assassin who becomes an aristocrat, which is written by the same lady who did Redo of Healer, surprisingly.
How those
Zane
vibes
told me
in that show.
Zane told me that the vibes don't get too crazy, but they're not comfortable either. It's a lot of like, all right, you didn't have to do that, but nothing as bad as Redo of Healer.
You didn't. No, hold on. I wanted to bring that line. That's the best line we could ever say about most anime. It's like you watch anime, like, all right, you didn't have to do that, but that's what you're doing.
It's like,
So-
okay,
All right.
this is what we're
The
doing.
example being, the main character gets turned into, reincarnated into another world as an aristocrat after being an assassin, and his dad is both a doctor, an assassin, and an aristocrat. So the whole thing, and the dad examines his son's body in the nude, and he does these weird poses, and you're just like, oh, okay, and the kid's like 12, and you're just like, okay. And there's some other stuff, but Zane said he looked at the manga, and there's more of that, just like, okay. And then I was watching how, I finished The Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, but I was watching another, mildly not that great show. It was fine. It was called, I got kicked out of the hero's party, and so I started a shop.
Wow. See,
It's
this is
not
why
an
we can
isekai,
make
though.
a
Yeah, that sounds
webcomic.
fun.
Name it anything, and
Exactly.
it'll work.
Hey, I'm still working. I'm still working on our time travel Winston's.
That one time I went to an alternate universe and had sex with myself so I could have a child, and then that child was me. Yeah, that webcomic. I'll just keep renaming it until it sticks.
Just
What else? I really did not watch a lot this week. Work has been real busy, so I come home and I just chill out and do some other stuff. Vicky, you been watching anything else?
I have watched nothing. I can't remember what I did this week. I'm assuming I did something, but beats me.
right.
I got Hyrule Warriors because I love Legend of Zelda and I love Dynasty
Okay.
Warriors.
Cool.
So far, I mean, it's a Warriors title, so
Yeah. Let's have that be multiplayer and see how long that takes to
that's
be boring.
From what I can tell, a second person can jump in.
Mm-hmm. I've definitely played it 2-player, way older PS2 version, but yeah, hack and slash to the umpteenth degree.
I love Dynasty Warriors because you can make different events happen if you defeat certain groups in time or don't. It's just fun. I haven't even finished watching Squid Games.
Oh my goodness!
Get on it.
I haven't seen it. Want to watch it? I need to watch it, but it's from what I hear, I'm it's just a battle royale type of show or something like that,
Very
Yep.
yeah, it's kind of that gimmick. Okay,
and I love battle royale.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games is also it.
Go all the way back to battle royales to get the original.
Love battle royale.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna rewatch that again.
But
what have I watched? Yeah, in terms of anime.
Darwin's Game. But I watched Platinum End. I've been watching that.
Oh yeah,
that's the one made by Obata and the other one who did Death Note.
Yep.
It definitely has a character who's basically light, but is also the villain. It is.
Was it
not
the villain?
Yeah, that's why Light
I
was
don't
wrong.
think so. No,
Light
he
was
was
wrong.
the hero. Well, he was
Light
the
was
anti.
wrong. Let me say it again. Light was wrong. Anyway,
Hey, he was getting stuff done. Is all I
Murder?
can say.
murder.
of
Justice.
murderers.
You don't
Murder?
call it
Serving
justice.
justice.
You call it.
So killing the police investigating you is justice.
That's when he became a villain, when he started
He was a
killing
villain.
innocent people
Killing
to
people,
hide his own steps
killing people he thought were criminals?
that were
He didn't know.
confirmed criminals.
Confirmed by who?
The police, because wasn't his
news.
dad a police officer? And
Eventually
was
he got some of that information, but those people are also where? Were they in prison? Some of them were.
You know what?
Yeah.
Did he kill somebody who he thought was L when he wasn't?
Yes.
That was like episode
On
4.
TV. That was like episode
But-
like
On
2 or
TV.
3. Yeah.
But how could he if you need the person's name
He
and their
killed him.
face?
He killed him.
on the TV.
But-
yeah.
He gave him a real name and a real face, but they called him L. He wasn't L.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. On TV. Yeah.
Okay,
Get your
to
death
test
note
them.
right.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Hey,
But
yeah.
Better Light is Yukoku no Moriarty, which I'm watching. That
Mhm.
better Light. Anyways,
Yeah.
continue with your Death Note Angel show.
Yeah.
I'm
Platinum
just
in.
saying.
It's not bad. Anyway, I got a cat in my face. Anyway,
Somewhere I belong.
absolutely, he wants to heal too. All right,
Oh my
so
God.
He wants to feel.
No healing.
Yeah, I
all
was
right, well,
like,
we're gonna have to edit everything there. All right, so
edit point.
Keep it in.
so the Platinum End is pretty good. It's very much. I think it's like it's not a bad death game anime. It's a death game anime though.
Oh,
So if you're not into that, like Death Note was great. This show is like, yeah, not bad, but it's definitely a death game anime, and I've seen a lot of those in the last like 2 years. It's been a lot.
I
It's been a
enjoy
lot of
those.
death games. Oh well, then you'll like this one. If you like them, like if it's a genre you enjoy, you'll like this one.
Kind of like Nikki Mirai. Mirai Nikki?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Mirai
Future
Nikki.
Diary.
yeah.
Future Diaries. It's better so far, but not like a lot better.
Hmm.
Like if Mirai Nikki is a 79, this is an 82.
It's just, they changed if I recall right, the opening every time someone died. Like, it was just
Ooh, that's
good,
cool.
good. So, and I think they had a different ending song for each episode as well. Like, that's just a good anime.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I watched Platinum In. Platinum In was kind of fun. But yeah, so I keep it up with that. I keep looking at Dungeon Boonies like I'm going to finish it.
Nope.
Like,
Nope.
no. I every now and again I see Sunny Boy. I'm like, oh yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I need to jump back on that too.
I haven't watched anymore.
I feel like if one of you finished it and told me how it ended, I'd just be like, never gonna watch it now.
Right. Again, okay. This is why I feel like if we each pick a show and we just tell like this was the goal before. I feel like everyone picks a show like then we all speed run through our show and we're like come back like yeah here's this show and
But that's why we know that Vicky will never watch the Detective
Pre-Board
Club
Detective
show.
Club. That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
watching it. I'm watching it
True.
tonight, y'all.
It's true.
She ain't watching nothing.
ain't watching.
I'm watching it by the time we record again. There we go.
The whole thing?
That's
The-
12 episodes.
the
That's a
whole
lot of
thing.
episodes.
It's
Oh, man.
That's
yeah.
a lot.
All right.
That's a lot.
So I don't believe in Vicky, and that's the only way she's going to actually make this happen.
I have a
My-
weekend.
my complete lack of faith in her.
I got this. I got a
Yeah.
whole week. Here we go.
She's not going to happen. She's going to be
Hashtag-
like, oh, my dog pooped on my Macintosh. I can't watch it anymore.
He has gotten close to doing shenanigans like that. But, hashtag I watched it all. Here we go.
Ooh, that's a good
Pretty Boy
hashtag.
Detective
I watched it all. I've seen
All right,
it.
so it took her like
Yeah, I've
6
seen it
months
all.
to watch all of that show that we don't talk about anymore.
Would we
So-
have rather I'd been able to see it all like
Oh,
faster? It took a lot to do that for the listeners, you know?
You didn't do that
It's
for
a
me,
lot of
buddy.
pain too. It's a painful watch. I can imagine.
I had to like refresh after each one and like recuperate.
Stop. No.
This
That's
is not a definition of a good show. I watched Idaten. Idaten is awesome. It's awesome. And I killed that show. I
Yeah.
watched
The
that
plot-
show in like 6 hours. It was so good. And
the
you were
plot-
struggling.
Overrated. Healer is so much better than Idaten.
Nah, don't say that.
No,
So
what?
really, no, it can't be.
The plot-
You're lying.
I have to watch
The
more.
plot-
I can't
The
agree
plot
with
of
that.
Redo of
The
Healer
plot of
is
Redo
better than Idaten.
I can't agree. I don't know.
What the story is so good. It's better than Idaten.
You haven't even finished Idaten. It's 11 episodes. Watch it and then tell me your lies.
Okay, I'm gonna finish that one as well.
You should, because it's good and you'll like it.
Hey,
But because I said you should and you'll like it, you won't. And then when I say you won't watch, you'll watch all 12 or 24 episodes of it, and it won't even be that good. And Idaten is amazing, and it's only got like 2 issues in the entire show that I'm going to complain about ever.
hey.
But Redo of Healer... All right, I'm done.
Hey,
Patrick,
hey, there's a
what are
reason
you
why
watching?
people finish Redo Healer.
Porn? Is it porn? Is it porn?
No,
No,
the
no,
story is really good.
Because one, the story is really good, and you actually
No.
finish with Redo Healer rather
You
than
finish.
Idaten.
That's right.
Wow.
That is right.
Rather than
Wow.
Idaten. You don't
You
finish with
nailed
Idaten. The material,
Wow.
Look,
you know, the
look.
content
Wow.
is
The
not
content
meant to
in
be
Idaten,
finished.
if you're finishing in Idaten, you're finishing on some weird stuff. Occasional
Okay,
adult
I gotta draw a line.
conversation.
Patrick's the one that usually tries to draw the line, but I went too far there.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you did. I was trying
Oh,
not
my
to
God.
talk about the show that is Voldemort, but you wanted to go on that rant a little bit and talk. Idaten is so good. I'm mad now. Idaten might be my favorite show of the year.
Of the year,
Okay.
this year, man.
And you're
that's
talking about Redo of
heavy
Healer's
words.
porn ad. Oh my god.
That's some strong words.
But you did. Hey, but you did not watch all of Redo of Healer, so you can't say that it's not true.
Then you
only
can't
go
say
off-
it is.
Kind of a
Then you
good
can't
point,
say it
though.
is because you haven't watched Idaten.
But I've watched more.
For you, I sped read the stupid manga for you. So you know I know because I watched your pornastic freaking show. I can't even speak. I'm so mad because Idaten is so freaking good. It's so good. I cannot. All right?
All right, you guys. We're not gonna watch Fena next week. We're gonna watch everyone go back.
No.
We're gonna take a week to watch
Wait.
Idaten.
Patrick.
We do
No,
Healer.
What did you
for
do?
next
We're
week. Next week we're watching Idaten.
and
Pretty Boy
Redo Healer.
Detective Club and Redo of Healer. That's what we're watching for next week.
Hey, I don't like you putting the Pretty Boys in between those two shows. Please don't associate that. Please don't associate those shows together. There's clearly a line that needs to be drawn. You gotta watch your fun. The other one you watch for other purposes. Oh
All
my
right,
god,
Patrick,
All right,
what did you
all right.
watch? What have you watched since last time?
Second season of Yukoku Moriarty. It's great.
Mhm. Oh, is
still
it?
follow-
Oh, okay, cool.
It
Cool,
follows
cool.
through. The brother introduced. We actually have a main character girl who is like, you know what? All these characters are
Wait,
referenced from the actual.
There's actual women in this
There's actually
show.
a main character,
Wow.
woman girl, and
Oh.
the plot thickens, and I feel like all these characters are referencing to the actual like characters in the book. So
Sherlock
which is
Holmes and all.
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, it's very to a T. So it's very like spicy if you like into that.
Is there Eileen Adler?
Yep.
She
She's
showed up?
in second season, and she plays a
Hey.
key plot points.
Yep.
Lots of plot with her. But
When you say it like that in this context,
Yeah, I let the plot thickens go by.
I know. I was like,
Oh my God. You see, I didn't even know I was doing that. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I have to rewind because I didn't even think I was doing that. I
I
even
let
remember
that one
saying
go. And then
My bad.
absolutely. Because I heard him say that, and I'm like, what's that? And I'm like, no, don't say it. Because I was going to say something stupid like, is her plot thick? Is she
Like-
thick, Patrick? But I was like, no, that's stupid. Don't say that.
I was going to be like,
Anyway.
yeah, it does.
I have to admit, 100%, I didn't realize what I was saying, you guys. I really did. I was not planning for that. But like me and Cori are going to finish Utena. We're going to finish
yeah,
the
we are.
39 episode anime. Second season, Black Girl's arc is the best arc. First season is wild. Third season is just, why are there cars? Just why is that whole?
Why? So
I
many
don't get it.
cars.
I don't get it.
Okay,
and they really
there's
pushed
a
the button.
whole-
They pushed the button in third season.
There's a
They
whole
pushed the buttons.
episode. The last episode I watched, Utena just takes the sword and handles it in front of her, and a bunch of cars just get cut in half in front of her. She doesn't even swing her arm. She just sits there. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Are they jumping at the blade?
They drive into the sword.
But they would have hit her before.
Hey, with the power of deals, anything is possible.
Yeah, it's the power to change the world.
And this show, again, I mean, talking about forbidden love and twincest and like, man, there's just so much same gender family relationship bad touch. The brother is the worst character. I don't know what Anthe is anymore. She's like the worst. She's the worst hated character. I hope there's a good ending under this dark tunnel that she's going through every episode. She stopped getting slapped, which I like. I guess.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, she got slapped.
Season 1, she got slapped a lot.
She got beat up.
And I'm just like, okay. I feel like the more I watch it, it was like, first season was interesting. Second season got really good. Black Rose Arc is amazing. Third season is like, why am I watching this show? I gotta finish it now just to finish the show. Like, that's how I feel with the show. I don't know
how
why.
I just like,
I'm trailing off too. Me and Cori are trailing off at the exact same moment. I understood why he's like, I stopped at episode 26 and this season 2. Exactly. 13 more episodes. I don't care.
I've been pushing like, let's get this done.
Man, this show.
It is a difficult
that movie,
show.
It's such a different characterization entirely for her. Like, it's like a 180. Just balls to the wall.
God, I hate Anthe. God. Okay, can I say something about Utena? It's like, it's... I don't know if people would call it a harem show, right? But I was thinking about all the pretty boys in that show, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, they get around. So I'm like, it's the harem for them. Like, they just have the whole... Like, the big... Anthe's brother is just like... He just has everyone. He has the fiance. He has the fiance's mother. He's got like this. Man, it's just like, what is going on? I don't. Yep. It's like everyone's terrible. The only person who's likable is kind of Utena, and that's about it. But she's not in the show for most of the episodes because they're like the side characters are more important. Utena only shows up in the show just to fight, and that's it. Like, we don't even need Utena in the show. She just needs to come in, do a special move. Recycled animation.
It's not even a special move, man.
Go up the tower, show us the
fighting
sword chest.
is really just boring. It's so boring.
Well, it's old, so they couldn't do like the look. Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball is old. Dragon Ball's older. Mm-hmm. Dragon Ball Z is probably the same age.
Dragon Ball Z. Yeah.
And you know what? And they do just this. Muda, and that can be very boring. Utena's worse.
Oh, man.
No, let me go a step further. Every fight of Utena is twice as boring as any fight in Sailor Moon. Especially the worst Sailor Moon episodes. The worst Sailor Moon episodes are probably equal to Utena.
Right.
Maybe. Like Sailor Moon Crystal bad.
Yeah, but you're not. Wow. Whoa.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean the newer? You mean the updated version? Oh, wait a minute.
The new one's bad? I haven't seen it.
I tried to rewatch the Sailor Moon, like give it a good college try, and I watched Sailor Moon Crystal.
I have to watch it.
Yeah, I was literally falling like, oh, whoops.
No, watch the original.
Episode's over. Yeah, I would, but I've seen the original on TV on Cartoon Network, and I'm like. Yeah. And then I saw Crystal. I'm like, this is worse.
How did they make it worse?
Because the entire transformation sequence is exactly the same, and they do it every time, and it takes like 5 minutes.
They
cheaped out.
What happened?
I'm talking about Crystal. I'm not talking about like 1994.
Yeah, but
Sailor
they
Moon,
did the same there,
which I understand. I'm talking about Crystal when they had a nicer budget and they used computers and they cheaped out hard.
Dang. So you're saying cute
high
school. Yeah.
That's a good show in comparison.
That was way more fun to watch.
So you're saying their transformation sequences are better than Sailor Moon Crystal?
That show is better in general. I feel like that show is just better in a lot of beats.
Having watched one episode and being like, I would watch this, but I'm not going to watch this. 100%.
Yeah, it's a good It's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good series.
Even Magical Girl Ore. That was fun. It didn't catch me. Like I watched like 4 episodes.
I love Magical Girl Ore. I even have on my my tablet, the picture at the end. Like it's just such a good anime, y'all. It's fun. It's so good.
I would recommend it to people.
He was the best manager, is all I'm gonna say. He's the best manager.
Like, I would actually recommend those shows rather than Utena. As much as that may hurt Vicky, Utena is just a wild show. It's
wild.
I don't know what is going for.
Utena is not made for us at all.
It's made for me.
It's
weird.
Yeah, it's made for people like Vicky.
And I know it's popular. So it's not like it's bad. It's just it was not made for men. It was not made for boys. It was made for Vicky and people like Vicky.
Yeah. To his defense, it goes places, and I think that's why it has a following. But if you take a step back from the content of the show, there is a lot of like what is going on. But I guess when it makes its its impact moments with like the revelations of like what is going on in the show, you're like, oh, that's cool, like that's great. But like it's like a couple of seconds of the show. The rest of it is just. What am I? Cowbell show. What is? I don't get what this.
I think you could make. I think you could make a 12, maybe 24, but I'm not asking for that. I think you can make a 12-episode version of Utena, and keep all of the important bits. And it
but you wouldn't get the weird, quirky. Like,
but if you wanted to keep some of the detail and stuff that I think only really comes in after the first season's over. I think you'd go 24 episodes. Okay. And I think you could get a full half season and like establish all the characters. And then you get the next half season or next 12 episodes and get all of the development that comes in the last half of it. And it would be more punchy because it's just a lot of like, what is the point?
To be fair, they did do that in making the movie. It's like a condensed take on the 39 episodes. Like, it's just they cut out a lot of the extraneous stuff and just got right to it. But they made it weird.
I have no reason to believe that shortening a long anime into a 2-ish hour movie has ever been very good. Escaflowne, I think, did the same thing.
Oh,
I watched Escaflowne. Escaflowne is a good, technically, isekai. I don't think I want to watch that movie, though.
I don't know there was a movie. But with the Utena movie, it's not so much that they shortened it, it's a completely rewritten imagining.
It's like a retelling.
Yeah.
It's like a remake.
It's a reboot, really.
Not a reboot. Yeah, reboot the word.
Okay. Well, okay.
Sort of. It's like an
All
OVA.
I'm saying is, I cannot.
Stop.
What?
You can't be bringing these words. You can't say over.
OVA. I can't. It's my personal bias. It's my personal bias. But OVA, OAD, OAN if I have to. What? No.
Ovas,
anyway.
AMs.
And I gotta go full letters. I'm sorry. It's like, can't do it. Look. Like, I don't care about subs versus dubs. Whatever you heard first is what you like first. But OVA.
What about
AMV,
SUB versus DUB?
DUB
versus SUB.
Subtitles.
Corey, you have to be consistent with your
dubs. Subtitles. It's a word. OVA is an acronym. You don't.
So is scuba. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
So is laser. All right, leave me alone.
What's laser?
Wait a minute.
Man. Light.
Wait, laser.
Oh god, that's the one I always have a hard time.
Is? An actual acronym?
Oh god, light.
Okay.
No, not light.
Like what would the Z be?
It's an S. Wait a minute.
Oh.
What would the Z be?
Wait a minute. Vicky's questioning my logic here. Is it a Z?
Why do I only think of lasers with a Z?
Is it a Z?
The word laser is an acronym for light amplification by stimulating emission of radiation.
Oh, it is an S. Okay.
But there is a Z.
There
Vicky
is no
almost got
Z.
me there.
Calm down.
Vicky almost got me there. Wait a minute. Can you spell laser with a Z or a S? Is it like...
No.
Is it like color?
No. Light
it's like a
amplification.
O-U-R?
Light. Oh my god. Light amplification stimulated emission.
Wait a minute. How do you spell color?
Jesus Christ.
Side tangent.
When I write for
You're
certain
going down.
fanfic, I have to write in a British way. So you have to be like using the U.
The U, the O-U-R.
You two gonna get redo healed if you don't stop. I'm gonna take you both out.
Wait, how do you spell heel? With one E or two E's?
Man.
A lot of E's.
Oh, we have gone so off. We don't even have a topic anymore.
Yeah.
Patrick tried to end the show like 20 minutes ago, and that probably was a good idea. Patrick's Vicky's talking shit about the best anime of the year, other than maybe Jujutsu Kaisen. And
Jujutsu Kaisen episode season 2. Oh my god.
To a crappy revenge porn.
I've watched more of yours and all of mine to be able to make the comparison that
how many episodes did you watch V. Dotton? How many episodes did you watch V. Dotton?
5 or 6.
Okay, and I've read the manga, so
you sped through it.
Yeah, you're crappy sex revenge manga porn.
You can't speed through the manga, especially with the content. Well, I guess you can. You can because there's no words being said.
Click.
You know
exactly. When there's a whole full print spread of Kaoru giving the wolf girl his magic power. That don't need no word reading. I can just skip past that.
It's vowels.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of goos.
And
well, on that note,
okay, guys, watch Ouran High School Host Club. Great show. The intro is the best intro. I think we all agree. Even if it is not Kiss Fall in Love.